Hi, I'm David Lippman. I'll be your instructor this quarter, and welcome to Math 147 Online. Now, when you first log into WAMAP, you're going to see a page like this. Hopefully, you've all gotten here. And the very first thing I recommend you do is go and click on your name in the upper right, and make sure that the email address here is correct, so that I can be sure to be able to contact you if necessary. Feel free to upload a picture if you'd like. That way, me and your classmates can see what you look like. And down here, take a look at this time zone and make sure that it's showing America Los Angeles, which means Pacific time zone. If it's showing something like Japan time, then all the classroom due dates are going to display incorrectly for you and you're going to get confused. So you might want to change your computer's time zone. Okay, so let's go ahead and click into the course. And in the course, you'll notice that you have an announcement up here. And then the place to start is the do this first, which you probably already did since you're probably watching this welcome video. But this will walk you through sort of what to do next. Next, you're going to want to read the syllabus, then do the syllabus quiz to show that you've read the syllabus. And then you're going to want to post a little bio about yourself. And this is just come in, click add new thread, and type up a little something about yourself to introduce yourself to your classmates. And then after that, there'll be an Intro to WAMAP assignment. So WAMAP is a little different than Canvas in that it's designed for doing mathematical answers. And so, in order to be able to enter things like square roots or fractions, you're going to need to sort of learn how to type that in. So it'll walk you through. There's some instructions in a video here that'll show you how to either, type in numerically or on the keyboard the expression. You can click preview to see how that works, or you can click this little yellow arrow. It'll pop up an equation editor that you can use to enter your answers. Okay. So that'll walk you through sort of how to use WAMAP and get familiar with it. Now here in the course information folder, you'll find the actual syllabus itself. So this will walk you through sort of what the class is about, the text information, and down here you'll find all the grading information about what the breakdown of the grade distribution is. So make sure you read that thoroughly from top to bottom to really understand what's going on in the course. Do note that our weeks run from roughly Tuesday through Monday. So a new week will basically begin on Tuesday and the end of the week assignments will be due on Monday. However, the assignments, homework assignments will be spaced throughout the week, so make sure you keep an eye on when those things are due. My contact information is here, and if you have any just general questions about the course, feel free to post them up in this Ask the Instructor forum here. So let's look at how the course is actually going to work. So let's click into week 1. Now normally I'll have 2 weeks open at a time. That way if you want to work ahead and get started on the next week's assignments early, you'll be able to. I do that partially because I know that some people can only do work on the weekends, and if you're that kind of person, then you're going to want to work ahead to make sure that you have assignments done on time. So let's click into week 1. At the top, you'll notice a discussion forum. This is where you can ask questions about anything going on in the week. Then there are 3 sections. This week there are 3 sections of text material and homework, and then a quiz and what's called a show your work assignment, and I'll explain those in a second, but let's go ahead and click into one of these sections. So go ahead and click on this to expand it. You'll notice there are 3 things here. First is a link to the textbook section. Now, I don't think I mentioned it, but back here in the course information, there is a link to download the entire book. The book is primarily available online. I'm going to try to make a print version available if you really want one, or of course you can print it out at home if you want. The book is available for free. So you can download the entire book here if you want to load it onto like an iPad or some other kind of reader device, or just keep a copy on a flash drive to carry around with you. But each week there will also be a link to the individual section of the text that we're focusing on here. and this is going to read a lot like your regular textbook. It has text, it has examples. You are going to want to read through this and actually go through the examples and try to make sense of it. The textbook is your primary learning resource in this course. It is supplemented with these video lessons. Now, these video lessons aren't going to cover everything that's in the textbook, which is why you're going to want to also look at the textbook, but they do cover most of the big ideas of the text, so they're a great supplemental resource. And you can either click on them to watch them directly on YouTube, or if you click this little plus sign icon, you can watch it right there on the course page and not have to go to a different, not click out to YouTube. So I encourage you to do both, read the textbook and watch the videos. I certainly understand that you may only have time for one of them, but try to use both of them as much as possible. So now let's look at one of the actual homework assignments. So let's go ahead and click into 1-1, and you'll notice that we have a question here, question selection here on the left. Now, a lot of these questions are going to ask for numeric answers, so not just multiple choice or fill in the blank type questions, but numeric answers or algebraic answers. Now, the way this will work is you'll notice that we have 2 attempts at this problem. So if you try the problem and get it wrong, it's going to tell you that you got it wrong. And hopefully you can figure out what you did wrong and correct the mistake. I mean, part of the reason here is oftentimes, you forget a negative, or you make a small, sign error, or you make some small mistake, you type in the answer wrong, use the wrong variable, whatever. I want to make sure that you have a chance to fix that. Now, if you're still not sure what to do, notice there is this Get Help video button here. You can always click that. It'll pop open a video based on the topic in that question. Not every question will have a video, but a lot of them do. And then so that you can try the problem again. So maybe you try to correct your answers, and then, oh, looks like I still got it wrong. Notice now it's going to display the answers, though. And so this is kind of like looking in the back of the book, sort of for traditional textbook, where hopefully maybe you look at this and say, oh, I see how this works. 6 is the input, 28 is the output. That's what I was supposed to be doing there. So hopefully you can figure out what you're doing wrong. If you can't, then this is where you seek extra help. So if you've already watched the video for the question and everything else, then seek out help, and that's what this post question to forum link here is for. If you click that, it's going to take your question and prepare it for posting into the week 1 question forum. Now, don't just hit post thread here, because otherwise I'm going to look at this and say, I wonder what they didn't understand. I wonder if they watched the video. What's going on here? And so if you use this, please, please, please put something here explaining what your confusion is. Maybe say, I watched the video, but I don't understand what they were doing at 2 minutes in. I don't understand what the operation they did was. Or say, if you think that you understand how to do the problem, maybe say, here's what I did, and detail the the calculations that you did to come up with the answer, so that I can help find where the mistake is. That's going to be a lot more useful to you than you just saying I don't get how to do it, and me saying I don't get what your issue is, and anyway, you understand. Try to be detailed when you post so that I can be the most helpful to you. Now, once you get help or you figure out how to do it, it's okay that you missed the problem, because notice this link here. Try another similar question. If you click that, it's going to regenerate a new version of the question for you. Note that every student's going to have a slightly different version of the questions in this course. So the numbers have changed, the problem has changed, but the same concept, and now you can show me that you understand how to do it. And you can still get full credit on this question. So there's absolutely no reason that you cannot get full 100% on the homework if you just keep working at it and getting help as necessary. The most important part is staying on it and staying ahead so that you have time to get the help that you need. So that's how the homework works. Again, unlimited, give me a new versions, and that way you can keep on working on it until you understand it. So the goal, the way the course should work is you finish, the first assignment, you read through the first section, watch the videos, do the homework for that first section, and then do the same thing for the next section, and the same thing for the next section. And once you're done with all three of those, then you should come take the quiz for the week. So now the quizzes are a little different than the homework. On the quizzes, you're not going to have that try similar question option. You're only going to get one version of each question. You're going to get 3 tries on each problem, and there'll be a small penalty, a 20% penalty for missed attempts. So basically, this quiz is your opportunity to show me that you now can do everything that was in the homework, that you understand the concepts. Now, most of the quiz is going to be very similar or the same type of problems that were in the homework, though it's possible that there may be a few in there that are a little different. Same concepts, but maybe presented slightly differently. Now, if you miss a problem on the quiz, you use up all 3 attempts and you think that you did it right, please feel free to email me the work you did on those questions, and I'm happy to evaluate it for partial credit. Now, note that I don't accept corrections, but again, you can send me the work that you actually did on the problem. Now, the last assignment for the week is going to be a show your work assignment. Now, these are going to be a little bit different. You're going to have a problem to solve, but instead of entering the answer online, you're going to upload a picture or a scan of you doing the work on paper. The idea here is I really want to be able to make sure that you're using the correct notation and that you know how to work questions on paper. And so that's what this problem is checking. So you'll work the problem on paper, and probably the easiest thing for you to do is going to be to take a picture with your cell phone or your digital camera and attach the file here. If you have a scanner, you can use that. All sorts of options here. If you really have an issue attaching the file, contact me and we can work something out. You can email it to me from your phone or something else. But hopefully this won't be too hard to do. And do note that because I am manually grading this sometime probably after the due date, note that your score will show as a 0 until I manually grade it. So don't freak out. You're going to upload this. It's going to say uploaded and score of 0. That's okay. It's supposed to say that. It doesn't mean you did it wrong. It just means that I haven't graded it yet. Okay? And so that's how the course works. You work through the assignments. You work through the reading, the homework, take the quiz, do the show your work assignment, and we'll repeat that same idea every single week. Now you'll notice a link here that says use late pass. I've given everybody 10 late passes for the quarter. Now I know that sometimes life happens and things come up at the last minute. You were planning on doing the assignment Monday night, and life got complicated, your kids had to go to the hospital, something like that. To accommodate that, I'm giving you these late passes so that you don't have to ask me for an extension. I'm giving you 10 of them up front. Manage them yourself, and don't ask me for any more, because I will not give any more. So if you need to use this, you just click the use late pass, and you can redeem the late pass. Note that you can only use 2 of them per assignment. And when you redeem the late pass, it will extend the due date by 24 hours. So you could potentially push this assignment back till Wednesday by using 2 late passes if absolutely necessary. But again, really try not to use these, because I am only going to give you 10 for the entire quarter, so don't use them up right away. Also, I do give extra credit at the end of the quarter for any leftover late passes. That just as a little bonus for trying to not use them and stay on top of things. So, speaking of which, the biggest challenge with an online class, particularly math, is staying on track. The biggest issue I have had in the past with students in my online classes is them falling behind, and falling behind enough that they can't get caught back up. And then they end up dropping the class or failing the class, and I don't want that happening to you. So please, please, please stay on top of the assignments. To help with that, you'll notice the link over here on the left or on the top that says calendar. If you click on that, you'll notice a little calendar showing when the assignments are due. So notice in this first week, one assignment is due on Friday, all the rest of the assignments are due on Monday. Now, most of the weeks, there's going to be an assignment due on Wednesday, Friday, and Monday. Just this first week, I wanted to push it back a little bit since I know it takes a little while to get going. But so do check on the calendar to see when assignments are due. Again, don't put everything off to the last minute. If this assignment is due on Friday, you should not be starting it on Friday morning. You should be starting it on Wednesday or Monday, even better. You'll give yourself time, in particular because when you do the homework assignments, if you run into a problem, you're going to want to have time to ask questions. And I'm not on the computer 24 hours a day, and so it may take me a day, half a day to respond to your questions. And so if you're asking them at 7 p.m. on Friday, it's very unlikely you're going to get a response before the due date. So try to make sure that you're asking the questions, your questions as early as possible. One last note, to check your progress in the class, you can always click on the gradebook here. It'll show your score on every assignment that you've had in the class. There's two graded totals down here at the bottom. The first one, the past due, only includes assignments whose due date has already passed, and this is usually the most accurate representation of your current grade. This past due and available includes the current week's assignments, and so it tends to be a little lower if you haven't finished the assignments for the week yet. So usually this one is the better one to use. All right, I think that's probably more information than you wanted to know, and hopefully you feel ready to tackle this course. I'm looking forward to a great quarter together, and once again, the most important thing to ensure your success in this course is to stay on track and start your assignments early. So please, please, please try to do that.